What up, guys? Jason, Flow Packs. Um, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, and I see a lot of things that are left out. I see a lot of things that people are feeding you, and you're eating it up. Look, when it comes to speed running, nobody in the speed run game right now, at this moment, needs to worry about physics, needs to worry about drag. They don't need to worry about all that scientific mumbo jumbo. I actually had the privilege yesterday to speak to the fastest in the world. You don't need to worry about that until you're in the 180s, 190s, 200 mile per hour, guys. This is coming from someone that put their car in a wind tunnel costing $5,000 to do that. You don't need that stuff. Delta plastic bodies will get you there. Look, there is a method behind my madness. Everybody will see it soon. A lot of the friends that I talk to on a daily basis, on an every other day basis that are in the speedrun scene, they know what I'm up to. I do have a method behind my madness of what's coming to you guys real soon. So stay tuned. There's going to be some stuff going on, and some people will pick up on it. And I've put a post out on Facebook of what I'm going to be doing, and then I removed the post because I really want to kind of keep it a secret until it happens. So there is a method behind my madness, guys, and you'll see it soon. Why do I have all these transmitters here right now? The big thing that's overlooked in the RC speedrun game is transmitters. There's a couple things, and I'm going to be going over those with you guys. Transmitters. When I first started out, that's what I started with. Cheap Spectrum, $60, $70 transmitter. Everybody in the speedrun scene, in the RC groups, were telling me, Jason, you're never going to gain with that remote. What do they know, right? So I went out and I busted 100 miles per hour. I was super stoked because that was great back then. Then I hit 110 and then I plateaued. That was the end of it. So what did I do? I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to go put a range extender on it. All of them were telling me to get a Futaba. No way. I got my Spectrum. The last thing you would have told me back in the day is go spend $200-300 on a remote. Why? I would never do that. For that, I can buy an ESC. I can buy 2 sets of wheels. I can buy a TP motor for that. Why am I going to go spend $200 on a remote? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, it wasn't. I put a range extender on this thing here, and I gained a couple mile per hour. Great, I was doing good. I outdid the smart guys. Matter of fact, Vincent Pace is one of them, and there's a couple other guys that were in the group that were telling me this. Hey, I outsmarted them. I got a couple mile per hour. Now, guess what? I plateaued again. I could not get no more range. I was getting like 800, maybe 1,000 feet, chasing the car down. There's a video a long time ago where I go underneath a prison fence with the car. It gets stuck underneath the fence at the prison. I lost all range to that car. That's why it did it. So after plateauing and running and beating up my cars, I finally listened. And I went and got this radio. A lot of people run this radio. It's a Futaba 3 PM. I got a range extender on it. Boom. I jumped to the 130s, 140s quick. Actually, 130s. 140s came later. I have another one right there. That's the 3 PMX. If you're looking to get into speedrunning, that's the one you want to use. Just because of the price. The price is so cheap. These 3 PMXs and 3 PMs are $100 with the receiver out the door. They're fast receivers, FASST. Great range. There's guys to this day, if you watch their videos, they're still running that. They're great transmitters. They'll get you tons of range. You'll still get 2,000 foot of range with them. They're not as advanced as some of the other ones, so I ended up switching to a 4 PLS. Great remote also, guys. It does really good with long range, but the dual antenna receivers were pricey. So I got to looking around and I decided I wanted to get a Futaba 4 PKS. Well, just so happens, Fast Pace from New York had one, hooked me up with a good deal on it. The awesome thing is the 5 or 6 receivers I had for those two worked on it. So now I have all these receivers. These all went in the trash. I don't use them at all. Actually, this one right here I still use for bashing just because it's a good radio, and bashing, you don't need to go 800 feet, 1,000 feet away. So Story, guys, the moral of the story here, get yourself a good radio. You don't have to go spend $300-400. $100 for the Futaba, $100 for the Futaba, $150 for the Futaba. I know there's guys out there that are running the Traxxas, that are running Spectrum DX5s and stuff like that, but you'll never get the range you will with the Futaba. I know there's the Radio Link one now. There's the Sky RC Noble. Those are all getting great range. Get yourself a good radio, guys. You don't have to go high dollar with it. So, with that being said, I'm going to clear this bench and I'm coming to the next thing. Here's the next thing, guys. Motor selection. Now, what I'm going to tell you guys is a honest to God truth. These motors are great motors. Before TP came out, guys were running Tycoons, Leopard, and Castle. Then TP came out and they came out with these big old giant motors. These motors are amp hogs. They're inefficient. Like I said, they're good motors, and I'm not bashing TP. They're inefficient motors, but they produce a shitload of torque. This huge motor right here produces a shitload of torque. That's how guys started gaining. You could throw any gearing you want at this, and it's going to send it down the road, and it's got enough torque to do it, and you're going to get a number from it. Castle, you can do the same thing with Castle motors. They're way more efficient, and you can get the same numbers. Just a lot of guys left them in the dark. They said, oh man, TP is easy to get numbers, so what do you want to do? You're going to get a TP. When TP came in the scene, the big motors out there were Steve New, Leaner, Castle Creations, and that's about it. Those are $300, $400, $500 motors. So TP came in and they slashed everybody's price. Boom, they were selling them for $129, $119, I think, when I first got in for the 4070. So if you can get a $119 motor and save $400, then you can spend that on something like an XL2. TP came in the scene, big torque, inefficient amped hog motors. Now, the reason I'm saying that is, the longer the motor, you are not going to get speed. I see it all the time. Well, Jason, I don't want a 4050. I know that's what you told me I should get, but it's too small. I want one of the longer ones. Well, why? I don't know, because it's bigger. It's got to be faster. Nope. It's going to produce more torque inside there because you have more stator and more rotor. It's going to produce more torque, but that's it. I've gotten great numbers off a 4050. I hit 161 with a 4050 motor. And that motor is plumb worn out. I used to use it on the Typhon 144. I won't even sell that motor to anybody because I know that thing's been worked. That being said, take care of your motors. I know a long time ago I came out with a video telling you guys how to clean them with the contact cleaner. Someone else came out with a video right behind me, and he had a couple videos of the same thing I did, but contact cleaner and bearings. These bearings that come in these things, guys, there's nothing special about them. They're made in Taiwan or China, and there's nothing special. You need to get the size 816 by 8. No, 816 by 5, sorry, is the size bearing. You can order them from Fast Eddie's, Avid, Acer, anywhere you want. Get the bearings for them. Spray out the inside, clean them all up, make sure they're good, and they'll last a lot longer. You run them with dirt and grime and stuff, what's going to happen is on the inside of your motor, there's a stator in there. This wall will eventually start wearing down, and you'll feel burrs in there. It'll wear down. Now all of a sudden, the magnet sits further apart from the motor, causing more resistance, and it's less efficient. Sorry. The closer the magnet is, the better. This is a Steve New motor. It's tight getting it in there. It does sit away from it. Don't sit on it, but it's tight. TP motors, like I said, you'll go get numbers with them, but you can get numbers with Castle because they're more efficient. Steve New motors, best motors on the market, period, hands down. Guess what? Steve New designs the motors for Castle. You think he's going to skimp? Now here's something I want you guys to think about. If Steve New makes the motors for Castle, and I took this 1515 Steve New motor, and I took this 1512 2650, and I took it apart, they're damn near identical. Not only that, they're the same weight. Actually, they're off by 2 grams. But what I think it is the wires. I think those 2 grams are the wires. They're damn near identical, guys, on the inside. One thing I did notice from taking TP motors apart, and I'll show you. Let me get my light on here. Oof. All right. You ever look into a TP motor and you see that copper, guys? It's like a real brownish color copper, not very shiny. And then you go look at a Steve New motor and you see that. Premium product. That's why TP can make these motors for $130, $140, $150, $180 now I think they charge. That's why. The reason you're going to pay $500 for a Steve New motor or $300 or $400 for a Steve New motor is you're getting quality, guys. You're going to get good numbers off these. You're going to get good numbers off these. Are you going to gain mile per hour by running Steve New motors? Yes and no. You're not going to go take this out of your car, slap in a Steve New motor, and go pick up 10 mile per hour. It's just not going to happen. What you're going to do, you're going to make your ESC happier. You're going to make your lipos happier. Your whole system's going to be happier because it's running more efficiently. There's less drag. The way I look at it, let's pretend your ESC is the motor for your car, okay? And this is your air filter. TP Motors, to me, is an AutoZone, off-the-shelf, generic air filter. It's going to run fine. Your car's going to run fine. It's going to do its job. But there's a lot of resistance there. There's a lot of... it's just running rougher. It's harder on your motor. Now you go take a Steve New motor. That's like running a K&N that's just been sprayed and ready to go in your car. It's going to run more efficient. It's going to be smooth. There's going to be no restriction. That's the difference with Steve New motors. Steve New designs Castle. What do you think? Castle is a great motor, honestly. And Grim Reaper Fireworks has been proving it all week. I haven't talked to him this week or last week, but I think I know what he's doing when he's doing his videos. He's proving that how efficient these motors are, then it's really not hard to hit numbers with Castle motors if you know what you're doing. This, you can overgear the hell out of it, and it's got the torque to send it down the road. This, conservative gears, and you'll get there. This 1717, 1580 kV, yes, it's a real one, not a Chinese knockoff, will get better amp draw out of this motor. This is a huge motor, so you shouldn't be pulling that many amps, right? On a 7, just say a 7th scale Arma. This is a huge motor. You shouldn't be pulling that many amps with it because it's floating. It's ease to push that car, right? Wrong. That will pull more amps than this will. This will be hotter than this will because this is more of an efficient motor. Your lipos will last longer. Your ESC will last longer. The reason I said that is back in the day, I didn't know better. So the owner of Castle was in one of our groups, and I said, hey, man, how come every time I get a brand new XLX, I get better numbers than my XLX 6 months ago? And he said, well, electronics wear out. I said, well, what do you mean they wear out? I don't know. I don't get that. And he said, well, what happens when you go buy a brand new DVD player? You push, or Blu-ray player, you push the button, it slides out real fast and back in with your DVD. After 6 months, what happens? It slows down. After a year, it shakes and it comes back. It's just worn out. It's all electronics will wear out is what he said. And same with an ESC, there's no difference. They're going to wear out, guys. The more you run them, the more you're wearing them. Same with the motors. The more you run them, the more you're going to wear them. I like Steve New motors because I know my ESC's not being overworked. My temperatures have dropped dramatically from running TP motors. The other day, I told a buddy in the Speedrun scene about it. The other day, I pulled, what was it? It was that XLX 169 mile per hour, or maybe it was a 164 mile per hour run. That XLX was 232 degrees. I've never had one run that hot before. The motor was 164, one of these 4070s. Just irate numbers, crazy. But if I slap a Steve New in that car, it's going to drop it dramatically. Just because the efficiency, guys. It's going to run a lot better. Castle, like I said, you will get numbers out of them. I don't know why they were left behind, but Grim props to you, bro. You've been getting out there and getting the numbers with them and showing everybody the efficiency of them. And it's not like a big deal that you ran a great number with Castle, because they're great motors, honestly. I am no way sponsored by Castle. Castle didn't pay me to do this. You guys all know the deal. You know, I burnt my hand with the XLX2, and I've had problems with the XLX2. I'm just speaking facts right now. I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not going after TP. I'm not going after Castle. Steve New, yes, they're my sponsor, but there's a reason that I asked for Steve New to be my sponsor. They're the best. Simple as that. There's nobody better than them. When they first came out, they were fighting with Medusa motors, or not fighting, but they were battling, you know, to see who's the best, Leaner or New or Steve or Medusa motors. And Steve New, they're the best. Simple as that. Now, what I said about the contact cleaner, guys, clean the inside of your motor. That's not the only thing, though. On your ESC and your motors, this is some contact cleaner, okay? Electrical and mechanical cleaner. Take a little bit of contact cleaner, put it on a rag or a paper towel, and every once in a great while, clean those bullets off. What happens is they get dirty, as you can see, and now you're losing a good connection that you had before. Now, check this out. This is a motor bullet. This is not the bullet that gets shocked every time you plug it in because of the cap pad. That's just the bullet that sits in that ESC nonstop and don't get pulled out on and off that much. Now, you also want to do this to your ESCs. Look at that. Just a second of wiping it. These are the ones that get plugged in all the time. Clean them off. Take a corner, get it wet, shove it in there and clean it off. You want a good connection every time. Just like if a lot of you guys probably know car stereos, right? When you shove your wires onto the back of your amplifier, do you just barely have it sitting on there, or do you like put it on there real good, make sure it's clean? Take it, clean up in there. All that dust and dirt, that's going to mess up your connection, guys. It's filthy. This one hardly has been ran, and there's dirt all over these bullets. This is the old Mamba Monster one. It's like brand new. I hardly run the damn thing. I had another one over here. Here, I'll go ahead and... No, that's got brand new plugs on it. Sorry. Here's an old XLX that I've had forever. This thing, this is just the outside of the plastic, but the inside of there, these are hard to clean. That's why I don't buy these OSE. I bought this off a buddy of mine. I don't buy these anti-spark plugs and all that stuff because guess what? I can't get in there to clean it real good. But just the tip that I can clean is filthy. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that. That's filthy. That was just the tip because I can't get in there to clean it. You want a good connection, guys. Every time. Get you a bottle of good contact cleaner, man. Clean those things up, all right? All your bullets, all your connectors, clean them up. Your lipos, do it on your lipos. Oh, here's the Mamba Monster 2 that I was looking for. This has been around forever and a day. Let me take this one. This one I've ran a lot, so I know it's probably going to be dirty. Let me find out where that spot where the wet stuff is. Right there. This thing's going to be filthy. Look at that already. What happens is you plug them in and out, and you get that spark, and now you're putting soot, and there's dirt on there and everything. You're not getting a good contact, guys. If you're going to run at the level to where you want your stuff to be top notch, clean your stuff, take care of your stuff, clean your motors, put new bearings in them. Promise you, they'll stay better longer, or stay working longer. You sit there and punish that thing in 3 months, it's toast. And if you want to do that, hey, that's on you, man. That's 100% on you. I can say this. I've ran hobby wing motors, and I'm not here to bash anybody, but I've never been able to pull a number with those. Here's some motors that a lot of people probably recognize from back in the day. Those are the HBI Torx. This is the 2650. This is a unicorn right here, guys. Made by Castle Creations. Designed by Steve New. Great motors. I've pulled good numbers with those H-bag Torx, by the way. Tekin, I can't really say much. I ran an RX-8 back in the day, and it blew up on me. So I can't really say much. I really haven't tested Tekin. I've just kind of listened to what everybody else said. But the owner of Tekin said they're going to look into getting some Speedrun ESCs. Mr. Campbell, super cool dude. He said he was going to look into it. He said they've pulled the 1,000 amp burst before. And I said, yeah, but burst and continuous, or we need continuous like 500 amps, 600 amps. That XLX2, the new one, crazy, blowing my mind. 500 amps with that thing. It's going to be out of control. Once Castle gets them fixed, they're out of control, guys. The new 1717 or the new Castle motors, I know nothing about. These are all the old Castle motors, non-censored. They're killer motors. I don't know about their new motors, so I can't speak on that. I'm not going to bash something that I've never tried. So if they're good, they're good. I know a couple people are saying they're blown up because of the motors, the Delta Wine, whatever it is. I don't know. I can't speculate because I don't know. Everybody in the RC game knows I speak the truth. Sometimes I hurt feelings, but you know what? Would you rather me say it to your face or behind your back? I say it to your face. I'm sorry it hurt your feelings. Let's move on. Let's go drink a beer and have a good time running our cars. So, next on the list. Servos, guys. I see this mistake all the time, and it trips me out. This is one of the most underrated thing in speedrunning. Servos. I seen a $500 car with an XLX2 and a TP motor, and he had this servo on there. It blew my mind. Why would you trust this with your $1,000 car? Look, guys, this is a damn good servo for a small tent scale. Fortec all day long. This thing, I mean, Lightning Dad's done it forever with this servo. Great servo for a small car. They're made for the Slash, not Slash GT Speedrun, Slash Basher, and they're made for the Forte. That's what you need to keep that for. As far as servos go, the way I do it, guys, I'm just trying to give you guys some tips. Take it or leave it. You don't have to watch this video. If you watch my next couple videos, I'm going to be trying to tell you guys how to do it the right way, my way. Some guy made a comment to me the other day, oh, Jason, you're pro level now. Well, I don't think so. Until I smash Mike Powell's record, I'm not pro level. In my mind, I have to smash that record and other records, and then I'll think about myself being in that category. As of right now, I'm just a speedrunner out there chasing a number. That's the way I look at it. So if I can help you this way, I'd rather teach you than give it to you. That's the way I like it. Nobody has helped me out down the road. People will sabotage you. People will give you the wrong information. And some people, they'll give you information, they don't even know what they're doing. They're stuck as stuck gets. They're never going to gain anymore. They're stuck, and they're still feeding information to the scene. And it bothers me because I want to say something, but I don't want to be that guy. So I just let it ride. Now look, guys. Servos. I went last year and I redid my whole stock with Servos 1258s and 1268s. Great servos. Super fast speed, and the torque was like 167, something like that, 180 maybe, and I took them all out of my car. What happened is, you're going to be driving your car down the road, and it's going to start veering, and that speed's going to get you in trouble, and it's going to spin out, it's going to jerk the car way too fast. It's just too fast and twitchy. I ended up I bought all these high dollar servos, not even high dollar, but I bought a lot of them, so it cost a lot, and I ended up having to turn them down on my remote. Number one thing I look for on a servo is torque. My new favorite servo is the 1230. Servos 1230. This thing has like 400 ounces of torque or something like that. It's crazy the torque this puts out, but it's not that fast. It's only like, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, like 14 seconds, 16 seconds, something like that. But it's perfect. You don't need that speed. You're already turning down your dual rate when you're going. Dual rate is how much your car turns. You don't want it to be able to turn fast either way. You want to turn it down to where the car just barely turns. I'm not talking about your speed. I'm talking about your dual rate, the DR on your remote. High torque will get you out of trouble every time. And then guess what? You don't need one of these. Once you learn how to drive your car, you don't need one of these. I got this from a buddy of mine, one of the Compton racers, when we were racing down in Southern California. And it worked good for drag racing. When I was on the prep track, the first run I ever made, no gyro, never been on a prep track. He was one of the fastest. I barely beat him. Then I started boosting up my car, making it faster, and I couldn't get it down the track without this gyro. If you run a gyro, fine. But there's ways to get away from them. These things will get you in trouble, guys, in an RC car. I've seen it more times than I can count. People put a gyro in their car and they think they're safe all of a sudden, and this thing glitches, something happens, now all of a sudden your $1,500 car is in a pile. And then you're explaining to your wife where you're going to go spend another $1,500, or your mistress or your girlfriend or whatever. You don't need a gyro. If you're running one, fine. I'm not going to bash you, man. Do your thing. Get your numbers. It's all good. But if you want to learn your car, I'm going to give you some simple tips. Get a high torque servo. And you don't have to get an expensive $100 servo. Those 20 kg servos are like $25 on Amazon. They're slow, but they're high torque. They work great. I had a couple of them a couple of years back, 2 years back. Maybe I think I might still have one in one of my cars. I'm not sure. But they work good. They're nice and slow, but they got tons of torque to get you out of trouble, guys. Servo's done. One of the biggest things I can tell you about speedrunning, guys, there's no secret. There's nothing that I'm going to give you or anybody else on any other channel is going to give you that's going to give you numbers that you want or just magically give you numbers. They can go give you setups, they can give you gearing, but what works for them may not work for you. I'll give you the basic best thing you can do. Get out and run your car. That's the number one thing. I didn't start gaining until I was out there every weekend running my car. Every weekend running my car. If you're one of them guys that goes out once every 2 months to run your car, you're never going to gain like that. You're never going to get the big numbers you want. You got to go out and you got to run those cars. Best advice I can give you is start on low cell. No one's going to dog you out if you go hit 130 miles per hour on 3S. Take 2 3S lipos, put them in parallel, send your car down the road, get used to that car. To where that car is an extension of yourself. You know when it's doing something, what it's doing. You know the feel for your car. Then you don't need to run one of these. These are for guys that go get Limitless or whatever car. They throw it on 8S and they're going out to try to break a record. And guess what? They're building their car 2, 3, 20 times over again. You don't need it. Start off on 3-cell parallel. The good thing is those 2 3-cell, when you move up to 6-cell, you got 2 3S batteries you can put in series. You're set. Now go get you 2 4Ss. Run those on parallel. Go out there, hit 130, 140 miles per hour. Bam, you're feeling that car. Go to 6S. Put it on 6S. You never know. After doing so well on 3S and 4S, you might be one of them guys like Kenny Malenko hitting 160 miles per hour on 5S, guys. That guy's still, for the people like me and other people that are running 8S, he still had 3 more cells that he could have ran to get to our number. He hit 160 miles per hour on 5S, guys. You could be that guy. Start off on low cell. You might say, man, I could get better numbers off 5-cell or 6-cell or 7-cell than I can 8-cell. Try it out. Go from 3, 4, 6, then jump up to 8. But everybody nowadays, I tried putting out a 6S challenge. No one had 6S batteries. Well, how about we do a 4S because I got a 4S battery, or how about we do 8S? You know what? I'm telling you guys, take it or leave it. I got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the 160s right now. And I got a couple cars in the 150s. And soon you'll see what I'm about to do. And then maybe you'll believe me if you don't believe me now. I'm only trying to help you guys out. I'm not out there trying to screw you guys over and keep holding people back. Because guess what? If you hit a great number on 3S or 4S, you're going to get tons of props on that. you'll get more props. I guarantee you go out and hit 131 or 132 on 3S than if you went and hit 150 on 8S right now. Because it seems like everybody out there is hitting 140, 150 miles per hour on 8S. No problem. The whole RC game has changed. Everybody's in the 130s, 140s, 150s now. It don't take much, honestly, guys. I'm not trying to bash anybody that's out there running a Limitless. With this motor and that ESC, it don't take much nowadays. Back in the day, it took a lot more time and effort and learning to do it. Guys, trust me on this. I'm not going to steer you wrong. It's good servo, good radio. Go get you a good motor, ESC. And if you're not dead set, you're going to stay into the RC game or into speed running, you don't have to go waste your money on that. Go get you a Mamba Monster 2. Where'd I just do it? Get you a Mamba Monster 2. And Castle's probably going to hate me for saying this. And go get you a 2650. Put that in your Limitless. My dude hit 130 miles per hour with this setup in his Limitless. Conservatively geared. That's why I'm saying Castle's going to hate me, because there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to go throw this on high gearing. They're going to burn them up and they're going to send them into the factory. Castle will tell you this ESC is not made for it, but a lot of people have done it. They've done 130. I think one guy did 140 something with a Mamba Monster 2. So if you don't plan on sticking in the game, just get that. Guess what? After you're done and you don't want to do speed runs no more, go throw that in your E-Revo or your Creighton or something like that and bash around. Go throw it in your Fortec, whatever you're going to do. If you're going to stay in the game, you've already made some hits, you've crashed, you rebuilt, then go get you an XLX2, go get you a Steve New motor, or a TP motor, whatever you're going to get, and send it, guys. But just remember, just like motorcycles, it's not when you go down, it's how hard you go down. Just like with an RC car. I don't care who you are, you could be in the best in the world, and the best guys in the world will admit to this, all over the nation. It's not when you crash your car, it's how hard you're going to crash your car. And if you're going to recover from it, you are going to crash. The best in the RC business, the fastest in the world have crashed. Nick Case crashed. Everybody crashes, guys. It happens. Or someone runs over your car, or it just something, a miraculous thing happens, it's going to happen. I'm telling you, a lot of guys go out there and they spend $1,000 right off the bat and go buy aluminum parts and carbon fiber this and that. And then they crash, and I've seen so many people do it, they end up leaving the RC scene. And I hate that, because you end up being friends with these people. They end up being a part of your community, and then they take off because they don't want to go put another $1,000 into the car. And it really sucks. Start off with what you have. Take a blank canvas, Limitless, Slash, Hobao, VTE, GTB, whatever it is. Put a motor in ESC, a good servo, a good radio, and send it. After you start getting numbers, then you can start prettying it up. Or if you're just going to keep it on the shelf and never run it, or you're just going to drift it